Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to have you join our Zoom tonight. We're in for a very special evening. We have Dr. Neil Goodman with us tonight, and he's going to be sharing about what you need to know about probiotics and the LifeVantage Physiq line of products. So this is going to be great information, and I just want to give you a little bit of background about Dr. Goodman. He's one of our favorites in LifeVantage, and he has an incredible background. He's board certified pediatrics and adolescent medicine doctor. He's chief of pediatrics at the hospital in Brunswick, Georgia. He's a 14-year veteran, major for the U.S. Army Medical Corporation. He's fellowship trained at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center in Aurora, Colorado. He's an MD from the Medical College of Ohio at University of Toledo. And he's a doctor with the Ohio State University. He has a BS with distinction, microbiology and immunology, and that's at the Ohio State University. He's also a fellow of American Academy of Pediatrics. He's a member of some various organizations: American Academy of Anti-Aging in Medicine, Institute of Functional Medicine, American College of Physician Executives, and Southern Medical Association. And in LifeVantage, he is a Premier Pro 6, and we just love him. He's fantastic. So with that, Dr. Goodman, I'm just going to turn the time over to you and just want to thank you so much. It's just an honor to have you share with us tonight. We know you have a busy schedule. We so appreciate you taking the time to invest in us.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thanks for inviting me to talk to your team tonight. I had a lot of great feedback in Kansas City when I talked about our LifeVantage product, probiotics, and a lot of their Physiq line. And I was invited to come and talk to that audience, and that was really fun. I feel like a lot of these products are really misunderstood and don't really get the spotlight they deserve. What's really important is that we as distributors have access to the best information to disseminate to our colleagues and to our clients. And it needs to be concise, it needs to be simple, not too complicated, but not too boring either. And yet, you know, I like to have a little bit of fun. And this was a really, really fun talk to give. And so I want to share it with you and your downline and some of the other cross teams that are with us tonight. I understand we've got some groups from other parts of the country. I'm not totally in costume though, but I am wearing some props that might be familiar. Some of you might remember the goggles from Kansas City, but this is probably the one that got most of the laughs. I'm not going to wear it the whole time, but I'm going to put it on now because it's the most appropriate for this talk. So here we are. I've got my emoji hat on, and obviously as a pediatrician, I have to deal with this a lot. And so that sort of is our lead-in for the topic of probiotics. So let me go ahead. I'm going to change my slides here and share my slide set with you guys, and we'll have some fun tonight. So let me switch to this. And hopefully, Julie, let me know if you're seeing what I've got here. There might be a little bit of a lag.
I see it.
Okay, and I've got to figure out how to get the slideshow to start, so bear with me for a second. All right. Okay, so this is how we sort of started. The title of this talk is What You Need to Know About Probiotics and the Physiq line of LV products. This was given in of course, at the Kansas City Academy, and I had some very, very special guests that were helping me on stage. We had a little fun with that. But what we're going to talk about tonight is the probio and also 3 of the Physiq system products, which include the prebiotics, the whey protein, and the fat burn. And I know that we're all using Protandim NRF2 and NRF1, and hopefully the Vitality Stack. But if you're not currently using all of these Physiq products in your daily routine, you really need to be. And I'm going to show you why. First, let's talk about the probiotics. In my profession as practicing pediatrician and a functional medicine advocate for over 34 years, I've taught many physician assistant nursing students about the importance of probiotics and prebiotics. And I was really surprised that many in the medical community really don't understand the significance of what's the importance of the gut flora or the microbiome, or that it can support good health. And so by the end of this talk, you may even end up knowing more than most of the medical community know. So this doesn't have to be complicated. And while I might use some big words, I'm going to simplify this and tell you the most important points for you to remember. Remember now, it has to be duplicatable. So that means that you need to know how to present this stuff too. So I'm going to use common, simple words to understand. And by the way, this is an FDA compliant presentation where we don't claim to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate disease. So let's talk about ProBio now. You know, probiotics are actually just helpful bacteria. They live throughout our bodies. We call this our microbiome. They're on our skin. They're in our mouths. It's everywhere in between. And most importantly, these probiotics or microbiome are also in our gut. And you should know that 70% of your immune system for defense is in your gut. So when you were born, you were colonized with your mother's bacteria. Her microbiome was your microbiome. That occurred as you passed through the birth canal. But if you were born by C-section, you were at a little bit of a disadvantage because you did not get the same number of beneficial bacteria from your mother as other people. So this microbiome or bacteria in our gut is also referred to as our second brain. And that's right, you have two brains. You have a brain in your head, and you have your enteric nervous system, which is essentially the brain in your gut. So if you were to take the DNA of all of the bacteria in your gut, the weight of that material would exceed the weight of all of the DNA in your human cells by 10-fold. We are actually more microbial than we are human. Is that absolutely unbelievable? So clearly, this is why probiotics are so important to your health. Helpful bacteria that we need tend to be depleted by the constant assault of bad food, chemicals that we ingest, and antibiotics. The microbiome has the ability to secrete neurotransmitters. These are the same neurotransmitters that your first brain secretes to influence your feelings. For example, 95% of serotonin, which is your happy neurotransmitter, is made in the gut by your gut cells under the influence of bacteria. And since the gut's job is to absorb things, those neurotransmitters are absorbed. Obviously, this could affect the way that you feel and behave. And this is an amazing fact, isn't it? But in reality, it's also sort of scary too. Because if you have low levels of serotonin, the happy neurotransmitter, then you might become unhappy or have a low mood. And to think that this is being influenced by the bacteria in your intestine. If you have high levels of norepinephrine, another neurotransmitter, then you might feel agitated or nervous or even stressed out. And many other alterations in neurotransmitter amounts that come from your gut can affect your memory and your ability to think clearly. So now if your gut is constantly receiving bad food, is exposed to antibiotics, or is ingesting foreign chemicals or toxins from your environment, then your immune system may be able to see these threats to your well-being. Your immune system is very good at trying to defend your gut integrity, and that's what these slides are. They just show what normal gut integrity looks like on the upper level, and on the bottom level, it shows that there are white cells and infection cells trying to get through the lining of the intestine and actually make its way to your bloodstream. So when you don't have good gut integrity, then you're at risk for developing disease. So having a balanced gut flora helps your immune system maintain this defense system. So can you imagine the results? Now you can see why this is so important to your wellness. So what can you do? Well, you need to feed your gut the beneficial bacteria that it requires. And you need to use a quality probiotic like ProBio and prebiotics to feed those beneficial bacteria. Let's look at why our ProBio is the absolute best in its class of probiotics and why you need to be using this every single day. Of course, this is also one of the core 4 pillars that are found as part of the Vitality Stack, but you can take it alone, or you can take it with NRF2 and NRF1 as part of the Activated Essentials as well. Okay, so let's follow this probiotic as it travels from our mouth to our large intestine and compare it to a typical probiotic that you might buy at the supermarket or store that has an equal amount of bacteria. Now, what you should know, and these are facts that you should know, that our ProBio has 6 billion good bacteria in 3 spherical tablets, and it uses BioTrack technology. Now, in Kansas City, I showed a rope, and this is a model of that rope, and it is a model of the enteric system. Enteric system means that this is the system that extends from our mouth to our large bowel. And at the beginning of this rope was our mouth, that's on the left side of the screen. And then there's a dip in the middle, which is representative of our stomach. And of course, it secretes acid. And then there is our 20-foot long intestinal tract, which consists of 15 feet of small bowel and 5 feet of large bowel. And that's not important. It's just important to know that these are parts of our enteric system. So let's start this journey. All right, so at the beginning of where the mouth is, here we have our ProBio. It's almost like a little race here. We have 6 billion particles, colony-forming units of each one. And then as they get to the stomach, the acid that serves as one of our immune defense mechanisms goes to work on those bacteria, those probiotics, and attempts to destroy them. And by the time they get out of the stomach, the bacteria exit and get to the entrance of our large intestine where they're needed. There are only 0.24 billion of the typical probiotic left, but there are 3.6 billion of ours. Now remember, we started with 6 billion and we're left with 3.6 billion, so some are destroyed, but it's 60% survival. If you compare it to a typical probiotic, there's only a 4% survival. So this is really unbelievable. And do you know that we're the only ones that have this, guys? We have so much to be proud of. This is absolutely amazing information. You would have to ingest 90 billion probiotic bacteria of another brand to equal the 6 billion of the products that we have. That would be 45 tablets of their probiotic versus only 3 of ours. That's ridiculous, right? Okay, so now what happens once the probiotic gets into the large gut? Well, it sequentially releases those 6 different helpful strains into strategic areas over a 10 to 12 hour period to repopulate our microbiome where they can help restore our gut balance and integrity. And it also has Wellmune to further help support our immune system defenses. So remember, it isn't the number of bacteria in the caplet that really matters. It's whether they're able to get to the gut where they do the work. All right, so let's change gears for a second. Let's talk about prebiotics. There's a lot of confusion about what the difference is between a prebiotic and a probiotic. Well, there are 2 things that probiotic bacteria get from the gut. In order to get from the gut and live and to make it through the intestinal tract, they need to hitch a ride on food and fiber. They're able to be fed along the way. They don't really want sugar to feed them. They become overstimulated. Think about making beer or something. It's made with sugar, right? If you ferment sugar, it turns into gas, alcohol, and acid. And that's exactly what happens to sugar if we use that to feed our gut flora. So that's what gives you that occasional stomach upset. What our microbiome bacteria really want is non-digestible fiber. That's what they eat. In doing so, they actually help us digest normally indigestible fiber. So if you feed them a healthy mix of fiber that is tuned to the good gut bacteria, they'll thrive. So think of this analogy. If your gut is a garden, then the probiotics are the seeds, and the prebiotics are the fertilizer. That's an easy way to remember it, right? So prebiotics are essentially fiber, okay? Now, our LifeVantage prebiotic contains 4 different types of this kind of fiber that can be used by our microbiome. And these are all big and unnecessarily complicated words. They are called fructooligosaccharides, inulin, xylo-oligosaccharides, and fucoidins. But don't remember that stuff. Just understand why they're there. They're all just special forms of fiber that are tuned to the good bacteria. That's all. So LifeVantage also added 3 particular amino acids that signal the special sensors in your gut, the ones that signal that you've eaten and that you're full. And this is another example of the gut talking to your first brain. LifeVantage is so smart because they are leveraging this gut-brain relationship to the max when they develop these products. See, so now you guys got this down. Remember this one thing. Don't underestimate the importance of your gut health in your desire to biohack your way to good health. It's just as important as oxidative stress and mitochondrial health. Okay, so we're going to talk now about whey protein. This is the 3rd product in the LifeVantage Physiq line. And we're going to talk about these two components. First of all, you need to know that protein is king in our need to desire and to maintain a good weight. The more lean muscle that you have, the more efficient you become at burning fuel. Carbohydrates and sugar only drive obesity. This product's protein is whey protein. It has no casein. It has no cane sugar. It's not genetically modified, and it's free of artificial flavorings and colors. It does have some branched chain amino acids to help with exercise recovery and to also help you make you feel less hungry. So this bag version has 18 grams of protein and 100 calories per serving. To compare, an egg, which was once felt to be one of the best sources of protein, has only 7 grams of protein and 70 calories. But our LifeVantage whey protein has 2.5 times as much usable protein as an egg. So what does it taste like? Well, it tastes like vanilla flavor. It's delicious. And you'll notice that it has a very smooth consistency. It dissolves easily. It's not gritty. It can be mixed with almost any liquid. You can blend it into smoothies with frozen fruit. If some of you have already tried that, I'm sure you have appreciated that. You can also add Axio or even any flavor of fruit to it, and even add the probiotic and prebiotics to it. So what we're doing when we do that is you can create the most delicious smoothie and have a protein drink, feed your microbiome with good bacteria, and nourish it with protein and prebiotics. So you can do it all in one motion. You can even add your Corp product to this if you want to, and help you keep fuller longer. Now, lastly, you can also add the blood orange flavored prebiotic to it. I mentioned that before, for one of the best tasting creamsicle flavors that you could imagine. You could even freeze them if you want to and put to popsicles and have a healthy frozen treat and save it and give it to the kids as well. So there's lots of use for this whey protein. All right, let's change gears again. The last product that I want to talk about is the new LifeVantage Fat Burn. LifeVantage uses Sinatrol, which is a mixture of Mediterranean citrus extract, which is peer-reviewed to support the body's natural ability to reduce visceral fat when combined with a calorie-restricted diet and moderate exercise. Now remember, this is the fat that's around our organs. It's very stubborn to lose. It allows you to release this fat and burn it to use it as energy, and it also helps to reduce oxidative stress. They also use green coffee seed extract, and this has less than 50 milligrams of actual caffeine and is also peer-reviewed to aid in fat reduction. LifeVantage has added B3 and B6, which are necessary and contribute to the acceleration of fat and carbohydrate metabolism. So look at these statistically significant graphs that compare sinatrol's effect on fat compared to controls. All right, so listen to these numbers. 254% reduction of abdominal fat compared to placebo controls. 262% reduction in hip size. 263% reduction in waist size. And a whopping 964% increase in the release of free fatty acids, which is a marker that shows that fat is actually being broken down from its fat stores in the body. This is versus controls. So this is scientific evidence, guys. These were studies that were done. Now, in this new version of fat burn, you only have to take 2 capsules once a day. And this makes it much easier to take and to remember. All right, so did you notice that I said peer-reviewed? You are involved with one of the most forward-thinking wellness companies in the world. They focus on products that help you maintain good health as you age because they use science that is peer-reviewed and published to make its formulation decisions on all of their fantastic products. That's why LifeVantage has blown away all of its other competitors that make non-science-based claims. So after today, I hope you all have a better understanding about these 4 fantastic LifeVantage products. And I also hope that you'll begin to explain them to your friends and to your family and use them in your daily pursuits so that you too can be the best version of yourself. Julie, I think you want me to talk about this, and maybe we should have a little conversation between you and me about this particular topic. Do you have some questions about Super 7? Have you heard about this yet?
Yes, well, I heard about it at Kansas City, and I would love to know more about it because I really don't know very much about it at all. So,
well, go ahead. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, so can you tell us what Super 7 stands for?
Well, that's going to be a big secret. I don't even know myself, and we're just guesstimating on this, guys. Super 7 is a code name for a top secret project that LifeVantage has launched, and apparently in Long Beach, which is coming up very soon in October, LifeVantage is going to be releasing their newest activator in the Tandem line. We don't really know what its real name is going to be, and we don't really even know what the ingredients are. But the project is codenamed Super 7, and it's been in secret development for over 4 years. Apparently, it's a cellular activator in keeping with the other Protandim products and has been in the hands of LifeVantage corporate upper echelon vice presidents and their president. And they've been secretly using it for the last month. And then it was rolled out to the Pro 10s, and now it's currently in the hands of the members of the Field Advisory Board, and will soon be in the hands of some select elites so that they too can experience it. Now, I've tried to dig around and ask various people on the FAB or Field Advisory Board to give me little bits and tidbits of this, and I gotta say, they have been mum's the word. They're not telling me anything. It's reported to have an effect within 1 to 2 days of taking it, as opposed to weeks or months. And in many, and I talked to Dr. Sean McKee in particular, she said its benefits were felt almost immediately, but she would not share with me what's in it. So I'm told this is going to be a game changer, and it's going to launch LifeVantage into full momentum to reach their corporate goal called North Star, where they are expecting an additional 300,000 subscribers this year. And so if your downline and legs are established, and for those who are just getting started in the business, we all need to contact all of our distributors, current, former customers, via any method that you can, to let them know that this is coming and that more information will be available soon. You yourself can be one of the first to get it just by being at the Long Beach EA Academy in October, as it's going to be released and sold initially to those that are in attendance there. So I think this is going to be a super, super project. I'm really, really psyched about it. I mean, we are so close to hitting momentum anyways. And I think that they are expecting that LifeVantage is going to increase its ranks of distributors and customers by 20%. They're expecting a 20% growth this year. And this is just absolutely incredible because those that are striving to try to get into the elite ranks, everyone's going to benefit. I mean, this is worldwide. Julie, are you still there?
I am here, and that is so exciting. That is.
I mean, I would love to have this right now. They rolled out some videos of it that just show it as a secret partner. They just show this little black bottle in between the two Protandim bottles, NRF2 and NRF1. Just saying that it's coming. You know, this fantastic thing is coming. I know that it's supposed to be taken every day. That's all I know, but I have absolutely no idea what's in it. But I got to tell you, if they spent 4 years and they brought in this guy, Brian Dixon, who we met at LifeVantage Academy just recently in Kansas City, this guy has been working on nutrigenomics, NRF2 science. I mean, he is such a great fit for LifeVantage, and he's now at the science direction helm of the corporation. So I'm really, really excited that this is coming out.
Absolutely, Dr. Goodman. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm super excited. I love Mr. Dixon as well and think he's just a great addition to our LifeVantage team. So that's really great. I'm so excited that it's an activator and in the Protandim family.
Right, exactly. And I got to tell you, as a fellow biohacker, I really want to thank you tonight for the privilege of being able to share the information about the Physiq and the ProBio line. Like I said, you know, we have really a complete system here. You know, we have our NRF2 and NRF1 activators. We've got our omegas for the brain, the probiotics, which are for the gut. And then you've got prebiotics to make the probiotics work better and to feed your gut so that your entire intestinal tract will talk to your first brain and make you more effective in your thought and daily function and your ability to mentate. It'll help your mood. It'll help your daily living, your clarity of thought, your memory fog. All these things, they're all cooperative. And that's the brilliance of what LifeVantage is doing. They are such a great biohacking company. I am so excited that I was able to join 2 years ago. I really, you know, I was just a pediatrician, honestly. I certainly didn't expect to be a network marketer. I didn't expect to be a person who is educating the public of all these things. But I got to tell you, the science is so compelling. That's what drew me in. And after I read the research, did my studies, used them on my own clients and saw benefits in them and benefits in me, I mean, how can you not talk about this? And so this little presentation tonight is really an attempt to share with folks, you know, the idea that it's not all just about the vitality stack, okay? Those are really important, but these are complete systems. You have to take care of your intestinal tract. I can't underestimate or understate how important it is. It is responsible for 70% of your immune system and 95% of the neurotransmitter that brings you happiness. How could you ignore this? Everybody needs to be taking this, and they need to be doing not only the probiotics and also the prebiotics, but every single one of these products together. And if you can get that into people's head of people who really are excited to biohack and improve their well-being, then you've scored a home run with LifeVantage. And I have no regrets in belonging and being part of this company because they are just knocking it out of the ballpark.
Thank you so much. That's just so encouraging. And Dr. Goodman, my understanding is that in LifeVantage, there's over 1,000 doctors and medical professionals and natural health physicians. Do you know, is that actually true?
Absolutely, it's true. I was at the LV Docs meeting at the LifeVantage EA Academy. Historically, I've only been to 2 of those LV Doc meetings. And apparently, the word from within that group, and this is basically a group of professionals. They're doctors of all sorts, okay? There's MDs, there's DOs, there's doctors of chiropractic, there's pharmacists, there's clinical nurse practitioners, there's physician assistants. They're all clinical. And this group went from originally, I guess back in the day, I'm told, maybe 20 or 30 people to we couldn't even fit them all in the room. We had a full auditorium. We could not fit them all in the room. There was essentially standing room only. And I'm told that there were over 1,000 doctors per se, plus all these other ancillary professionals. So it's actually much bigger than that. And all of these folks understand and realize the same thing that I came to the realization about, that the science speaks for itself. We really have a lot to be proud about.
We sure do. The science is what drew me into this company and so many other people. And so it's very exciting to be a part of this company. And I love everything that you shared tonight was so helpful. I took a lot of notes, and I know we all really benefited from all the information. So thank you so much. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we close, Dr. Goodman?
No, I just look forward to seeing everybody at the Long Beach Academy, and I hope that we can all get biohacked down there and grab our bottles of the new Protandem, whatever it's going to be called. I honestly, I don't know if it's going to be called Protandem 3, or I don't think it's going to be called Super 7, but it's going to be special. So we all got to get a bottle of it at least and take some home. That's if it holds out. It's probably going to get sold out.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yes, I look forward to seeing everyone there also. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And thank you again, Dr. Goodman. This was absolutely incredible. So
Thank you, Julie, for inviting me. And I look forward to seeing everybody soon.
Okay, bye for now. Good night.